Just a warning, HHE is rated R or 18 in the UK. Swearing and things like that will be in these episodes. Please do not listen around children. And let's get to the show. You have been warned. Welcome to HHE. That is Halloween Horror Events Podcast. We are a podcast about horror events in the UK and Orlando, Florida.
Yep. So you can also follow us on all our socials at HHEPod, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere you can find us.
And subscribe to us on all good podcast apps and make sure you give us a 5-star review. Cheers.
He forgot YouTube, guys. Get us on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. And that as well.
And welcome back to you podcast listeners. If you are a YouTube subscriber, thank you very much. This is now part 2. If you've not watched part 2, go back to the previous video for part 1.
I'll swap beer. I'm now on Soul.
You swap beer. I'm still sticking with the same one.
I'm sticking with Budweiser, but I've got a Bud Light now as well.
If any beer would like to sponsor us out there.
So in this one, to be fair, I have not got a clue.
In this part, we should talk about the other tickets, the things you could do at Halloween Horror Nights, mate. Plus, we have a question from Craig Lucas.
We do.
Let me find the. I just had them all up a minute ago and I've lost them all. Hey.
I've got Craig's question here. If you want me to read it out.
Yeah, that'll break up. Wait a second.
Yeah. He's basically asked us what other horror events in Orlando would we want to do? Smaller events, in particular.
Yeah.
Thanks, Craig.
The only one I can think of at this moment in time is Sir Henry's.
Yeah.
I was trying to think about where that actually is. I'm just trying to find it now.
So why he's doing that? The other two I've done, obviously. I think you've done them as well. Is obviously SeaWorld's what's it called? Oh, what's wrong with us? We were brain freezes. Hello Scream. Yep. And I've done Mickey's Not So Scary, but it is bloody scary because the price of it.
Yeah.
That one. I've done that. People on YouTube can see I'm pointing up to Mickey's Not So Scary poster that I got free. All that money I spent, I get a free candy, what I could have got cheaper in Walmart. And by the way, at SeaWorld, there's a little thing for you people. SeaWorld for kids. SeaWorld do also do a Halloween thing. Kids can go dress up. You buy a bucket in there and you can go around and they give you loads of free candy And that's part of your SeaWorld ticket as well. It's not an extra event. It's part of the day.
Yeah, that does. That is actually not a bad thing that they do at SeaWorld.
Yeah.
It's absolutely rammed, but
They also give you crisp as well.
Really?
They gave packets of Walker's crisp. It's brilliant.
That's chips for our American listeners.
Right. Well, I can't find anything that's been officially done for this year. But I'm just going to quickly go through what there is for next. That was on last year.
So, Craig, I'm sorry if there wasn't that many, but we don't really know that many.
Yeah, well, there is actually quite a few, but these are ones that were on last year. So hopefully they return. You've got Scream and Stream. It's a drive-through haunted house experience at the Florida Mall.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted to do, but it finished in it before we both went out. It
starts in October.
Yeah.
There's a Halloween. What's it got? Orlando Halloween, the Haunted Road. Embark in your own vehicle on a 20-minute drive to the haunted road and discover mysterious flesh-eating creepers ghouls.
Haunted road, take me home.
There's one that's not Spooky Empire. I know that's usually in May, but I think there's another one in October last year as well.
There's one at Boggy Creek as well, isn't there? Down where the airboats are. There's a drive-through one.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the one in Hollywood from Shaquille O'Neal last year? And for us Tully fans, he spanned the name program. So we know Shocktoberfest when he had Shacktoberfest. Genius.
Gatorland actually do one for the kids as well.
Oh,
yeah, Gators, Ghosts and Goblins.
They do.
Very late though. It's October the 15th.
It's only like a couple of weeks then.
Yeah. Fun Spot looks like they did something last year as well. Huge Halloween at Fun Spot America.
What's that haunted house at down Old Town?
Yeah, that's all year round that as well.
I really want to try that.
It's fucking good, man. It is good.
I've heard about that bar in Orlando, downtown Orlando as well. It's sort of set on monsters and and that's an adult bar. That is, there can be naughty stuff going on in there. Not as in drugs and sex, people, not like that, but as in the women wearing interesting clothing. Might be a better way to put it. If I'm wrong, people, I'm sorry, but what I've seen, it looks like that to me.
Yeah, looking at this, a lot of this stuff is for kids. There's not that many adult events in the area. There probably is. Just that at this moment in time, I can't seem to find them. It's only showing Halloween Horror Nights and SeaWorlds and Busch Gardens. Everything else is all for
Either
kids.
you two remember Terror at Church Street Station? It was downtown years ago. I think it's gone now.
I think I've seen videos of it. Yeah, it was a big building, wasn't it, inside? Yeah.
Yeah. It was downtown Orlando, in Church Street. But they used to do a Halloween event down there.
Yeah, it used to be quite big. It used to be queues around the block for it.
And there was also Skull Kingdom as well. I don't know if either of you two did that.
No, never done that.
That was good.
So Simon, what other tickets do they have at Halloween Horror Nights for other things you can do there? We didn't actually go into the tickets. We did the scare tickets, but we said Rush of Fear, but we didn't go through all that, and then we didn't go to the extra things you can pay for as well.
Up now. You've got RIP tours, which are the top of the range tickets that guarantee you to get into every house. Give me a second.
They're ridiculous.
And also, people, you have to buy them on top of your Halloween Horror Night ticket.
Yes, yeah, you do.
Prices are ridiculous now, aren't they?
Yeah, they start at $299.99, so they're not cheap. But if you go with a group of
10,
a private one, which is up to 16, I think you can have. They're a lot more expensive. You control where the guide goes. If you buy one of these ones at $299
the thing is as well, it says it starts at $299, but how many of those nights are actually $299? One.
Yeah. I'll have a quick look now. I'm currently on it, so I'll just have a quick look. Starting days. I'll have a quick look which days are on. Yeah, you've got to actually go into more details. I haven't got time for all that. Anyway.
Yeah.
But they go up to 459, I think. So, but the private ones, you have to ring. If you want a private one or just your group, you need to ring up Universal Experience, VIP Experience team, and they'll sort one out for you. And they can be quite beneficial because you, like I said, you control. If you want to go through the same house 12 times. You can go through the same house 12 times. You choose what you do. It's not where you've got to go from each house to each house. And the other thing that Halloween Horror Nights do is behind the screens on Masking the Horror Tour. They do a 3-house and a 6-house tour. The 3-house and the 6-house do different houses, so you don't do the same house if you do 3 and the 6. So you can get 9 of the 10 houses behind the scenes during the day, rather than being at night time. So if you're not into your Halloween, you don't want to try Halloween Horror Nights and see what it's like when it's really scary, you can do this, see what the house is like with the lights on, with no actors in it. See if you want to go in it. It's a good way of trying it. Thing is with these, you don't need a Halloween Horror Nights ticket, and you don't need a Universal ticket either. I've just noticed. Actually, it does state theme park and or event admission is not included or required.
That's because most of it's behind the scenes, isn't it? So
yeah.
But we get a lot of raving reviews of these 3 and 6 house tours. They do give away a lot of the tips and tricks. So if you don't want to be spoiled, if you don't, well, the Easter eggs, they're in there for the houses. But if you don't want to know how an effect actually works and actually scares you,
I would say
don't do it.
I would, if you're too scared to go to the event, do it because you want to see the house. But if you want to go to the event, do the event first. Try and get all the houses done first, and then go and do that. Yeah,
like I'm saying, I know where how a lot of these effects are done anyway. But these show you how they're actually done, and they're worth the wait and go. If you want to find out how the inner workings of an event works, by all means go for it. But they do sell out quite quickly. So if you do want to get them booked ASAP. And that's really it on the ticket side at the moment.
There's not. You forgot other things. We need to go through what tickets there are, because we've only said Rush of Fear and the single night ticket. So we need to tell everyone what tickets they do.
But they're not actually on sale yet. That's what I'm saying. We don't know.
Yeah, but this is just a travel one, mate. We're just trying to tell people to get prepared. And then we've got to tell them about the worst thing ever, what's called SAD, scare actor dining.
Well, I say we can tell them if you want. I say we don't know if they're going to come back or not. Because I personally don't think scare actor dining is going to come back in that location.
I don't think it's going to be that location, but I think it's coming back.
It'll come back, yeah. They've got to
makes too much money.
They've got to make it better, and they've got to make it worth the money.
I honestly think, and I'm going to watch videos, I'm not going to pay for it this year, but I think it was a last minute idea last year to bring it back because they weren't sure with the pandemic at the time. And I think it was a last minute thing to bring it back, and they just weren't prepared, and they couldn't get it. They didn't have the budget at that point.
It's not. I won't even say it was the budget. It's not in an ideal location. It needs to be dark in there for it to work, and there's nowhere that's going to be dark anymore.
What we don't know the Minions is going to be light as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so I can't see it. If it's not worked in Louis, which to be honest, Louis is a dark area.
They could have made it darker as well. They could have covered the windows.
Yeah, but the whole fact was the theming was crap. So I didn't care about how dark it was. It was just crap theming. It really was bad. It was. I honestly think it was a last minute thing. Get a few props out last year.
Right.
And I think that's why I'm down. I think the food was shit. Don't bring it back. Listen to Simon. Don't bring it back. If you can't make it good, don't bring it back.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But scare actor dining. It's all you can eat. Well, all you can eat buffet. I'm doing air quotes because you only want you to go up once. You get your food, you sit down, and scare actors come around and interact with you. That's all I'm going to say. They don't scare you. They interact with you, or try to. If they're around or can be asked actually getting out from behind the podium. Michael Myers.
The Mummy was really good though. The Mummy, I've got a Mummy juice. Mummy was great.
Yeah, but he was tucked away in a corner so he could.
See that bit was good because it was nice and dark over there.
Yeah. And the other tickets that we usually get are, like I said, are Rush of Fear, which usually covers you the first 3 weekends or 4 weekends of the event. I'm not going to say September because I think it's going to end before the end of September this year. You have the Frequent Fear, which gets you in from Sunday to Thursdays. But that might change because there's now every single Wednesday for this September and October this year. We'll see what they do with that ticket. Then the Frequent Fear Plus, which is Sunday to Friday. And then the Ultimate Fear, which is every single night at the event.
I wonder if they'll make a pass called the Week Pass. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday only.
They might bring out a Wednesday, Thursday one. Just
Mm.
a midweek pass. That'd be something. But I have noticed, so we do recommend to go midweek.
Not anymore.
No.
No.
Everyone's clocked onto it now. That's the problem.
I think the only night that I felt was relatively quiet, or quiet-ish compared to the rest of the nights, was a Saturday night. I think it's because there's not many passes available for Saturday nights, even unless you've got the Ultimate or the Rush of Fear. And the prices for Saturday nights are ridiculous. So it might be one of them worth looking at going to Saturday nights now. They're a bit more expensive.
Plain simple. It's not like the old days. There is not going to be quiet nights anymore, unfortunately.
No. It also depends on what's actually there this year again. Because like last year, the weekend, everyone thought, "Oh, who's this guy?" And look at the crowds. It was horrendous. I knew the weekend was big, but I didn't realise it was that big. Because you definitely
in America, yeah. That's the American crowd. That's the problem. We get lost on that because we're in the UK. We get kind of lost on that type of stuff. Oh, just to round it back off though, guys. Any tips you got for anybody who is travelling from Europe, UK? Generally, let's get back to our travel trips.
Yeah.
Just sit down and have a think and plan out what you're going to do.
Yeah.
If you can afford 2 weeks and you can fit it all in, by all means. We have told you, and I've done it. Phil's done it. I don't know if you've done a weekend, have you, Joe? You've done a week. We haven't
done a week.
Weekend.
Yeah. Short we've done.
It can be done in 4 days. Flying out on a Thursday, coming back on a Monday. It is possible. It all depends on what your budget can allow and what your time scale is. There's options for everyone, and if you want any help, just reach out to one of us. Reach out to us on Twitter, Instagram. Give Facebook a bit of love as well, because Facebook don't seem to be getting any love on there.
Because everyone's old on Facebook.
I know. Well, our average age group, according to Anchor's, 35 on this. So,
well, hello, youngsters.
Yeah. Right. A couple of things I will say is don't book the first deal that you see. Shop around.
Yeah.
You'll always find it cheaper, even if you play the airlines off against each other. See what you can do. Sometimes they will do you a deal. And if you are only going to Horror Nights for a short time, buy Express. That's one thing. The last time, when we did that week last year, we did 3 nights at Horror Nights, and it was crazy, absolutely crazy busy. And it was. We bought Express after 11, and we flew through the houses after 11 o'clock, and we're out of there by 1.
I've got a few. If you're not going to go into early in the park, wait 30 minutes.
Yeah,
when the event's open, because there's massive queues who all want to rush in, and then they all generally go straight on where Minions and all that is. Go right and go to the houses at the back of the park.
Yeah,
because they're generally more quiet.
Head towards Men in Black, because that's where one of the Stay and Scream areas is held, and usually by the time everything opens, they're getting out of the houses, so them houses seem to clear out pretty quick. Be interesting to see how they do it.
Also, time with the show. Look what time the show is at the houses around that area, because a lot of people in that area have gone to the show. Yet again, it empties a lot of the houses up. Well, we won't say empty. A house might be normally like an hour and a half wait, could be 30 to 40 minutes to queue.
Yeah,
if you're not going to use Express.
And if you are only going for 1 or 2 nights, find the map online and have a look.
You like.
Have a look at which houses you want to do, and have a strategy. Say, right, I'm going to hit this house. I'm going to go to this one, because what you'll do, you'll get overwhelmed with everything being on top of you, and then you'll say, I want to do this house. You'll look at the queue. It'll say an hour and a half. Get in it.
Well, that depends. If you've got one right next to it, if you've got one right next to it, saying 20 minutes, I would personally go and do that.
But if you want to really do that house, do it. Get in that queue and just get it done, because you will regret not going through that house
So I think it's different for me because I've always done the ones where you have a house
Yeah,
saying an
that's
hour,
what I'm
an
saying.
hour.
I'm talking about new people who've never done it, and they're
Yeah,
going for a
but
particular house.
this is my whole point. Even if I'm looking for a particular house, if it's an hour and an hour and a half, and there's one next to it 20 minutes, sometimes that hour and a half, actually most of the time, that hour and a half queue to me usually cuts down because most of them people are then moving over to the house next to it. So I usually go for a 20-minute one, then I get back to one because what's the extra 20 minutes going to be anyway? You might as well go and do it instead of risking it, going in the hour and 40-minute queue, and then you're coming out and that one's like all of a sudden gone up to an hour now. You're like, well, damn, I've now queued over 2.5 hours.
But I'll still stick with it because I've the many people I've seen online said I didn't get the chance to go in a house that they really wanted to go in. It's your own fault because you do if no matter what the queue is, if you really want to do a house, just get in the queue and do it.
Actually, the best way to do it is if you're going only for a few days, don't go to the parks or anything for the daytime. Be lazy, get in there as early as possible, and stay till the end of the event for the night.
Yeah.
It's tiring, but it's worth it.
That
you just stole my last hint. Thanks.
or I will go back to that after 11 p.m. express pass. If you're not going to the parks in the daytime, go out in the evening, have some dinner, go to a bar, have a few drinks, get into the park at 10:30, go straight to the booth, buy an after 11 express.
Yeah, you've got to be careful with them because
Yeah.
you go to the main place, but you've got to look for them. They can usually be outside Jimmy Fallon or where Fast and Furious is. I noticed.
And they also
Jimmy Fallon, what you
not
sent
be
me
available.
to. Yeah, the one you sent to me at Jimmy Fallon, the cash machine broke down, so I had to go over to Fast and Furious because he told me where it was. He goes, they're just coming out now, so I sprinted over there and got them over there instead.
Okay.
But as Simon just said, you can't guarantee every night they're going to be there.
They might actually do sell out.
If you get there early, buy them early for 11 o'clock, or get a whole day one if you can. Sometimes that can just work out better.
Yeah.
So well, hopefully you got some tips out of all that. Because we're back.
I'm not saying my nan's old, but
right, on that bombshell, we're going to end. I think
that's come a new saying to this on that bombshell. Good night.
Well, we can't really say it because we might get sued by them people.
Mate, they don't do that show anymore. Don't worry about it. That
Boys,
show's rubbish now.
Yeah, they still do stuff.
Just before we finish, one more question. Are you boys going this year?
No.
I am.
Simon, I feel I know you're going, but Simon?
No. It's too expensive. I can't justify the price of the flights. I just can't. I can get the hotels for £300, stay at the Hilton, stay at the Holiday Inn over the road at Major Boulevard. But when the flights are coming at £1,000 minimum, it's like, no. You're looking at £1,000 for the flights, £300 for the hotel. Then you're going to have to do £250-300 on on tickets. Then I've got transfers to do, so there's another £100. So you look at £1,600, and I'm not even walked into Universal, and I'm only there for 4 days.
Yeah, I've been talking to inside people, and they reckon this is going to be the greatest Halloween Horror Nights ever, and they're never going to be able to do it as good again, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then you look at the price of actually everything inside the parks as well.
Yeah, mate.
You're looking at £2,500.
Yeah, because you want your merch.
Yeah, you're looking at £2,500 just for 4 days, and that's just for two adults.
Then you want alcohol. Then you want food.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm budgeting £900 for merchandise and drinks, but
then he's gonna want to buy Chucky merchandise because he loves Chucky.
It's just at this moment in time, if the price comes down to maybe £300 flight, which it never will, that'll be the turning point. It'll be bring it under £2,000. But nah, until the price comes down.
So Joe, what's going on with yours then, mate? Because I haven't asked you all day, but I know you were looking.
I was looking last night. Yeah,
and now you sobered up. Have you decided not to?
Oh, I don't know. I'm supposed to be going to Amsterdam for my 40th in November, but I don't know. Leave it with me, mate. I am working on the missus.
And Gaz, if you're listening, mate, your son Seb, Gaz from the Incredible Wilsons, go and check them out on YouTube. He has said to you today, as I record this on Sunday, the 9th of April, he said to you, he wants to go to Halloween Horror Nights. How can you turn down that sweet 10-year-old child? You have to stay at Cabana Bay so I can come across and use your pool. Don't do it for Seb, not for me. Do it for
Oh,
Seb. He
mate.
loves HHN.
I've got a
Gaz,
little boy
listen to me.
myself.
You can't do this to your kid. You have to let him go. The poor kid deserves it. He's a great kid. Gaz, listen to me.
How can you say no?
Yeah, don't say no to a 10-year-old child as sweet as Seb. Gaz is going
Yeah.
to kill me when he hears this.
But like I say, it's definitely too expensive at the moment, so it's a no from me.
Well, look, I want to tell you about a deal that I found last night.
Yes, let's end it with that bombshell.
Yeah, £1,200, 2 people, direct flights from Gatwick with British Airways, and a week in Docks. No, it was
Cabana Bay.
Cabana Bay. Yeah,
Because you said it was cheaper. And what shocked me about that, but are you okay to go without suitcases?
yeah, mate. Yeah, we took hand luggage only in September. We were
I've
fine.
always said, if you book it, mate, and there's stuff you can't bring back, just give it to me. I'm going to see you in October anyway. So I'll just take it home with me. It's not a problem.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Awesome.
Yeah, well, even with me, I couldn't really do a week because of time restraints as well. So like I said, the only top option I've got is a weekend because of the new job. So even if I could afford that week, sounds good at £1,200, but for me, it will be another
Bloody good.
£300 to get down to Gatwick and back.
Yeah.
Then that's an extra day travelling as well. So it'll be 8 days rather than 7.
Can't you get the choo-choo for free?
Yeah, but it's still travelling. It's still 4.5 hours, mate. It's not like it's like, I finished work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I can be there at 10 o'clock.
Choo-choo.
So it's just not feasible at the moment. If the prices come down, yeah, maybe, but I'll only be there for the weekend if I did do. And it's just not. And I will be, if I did go, it will be before you as well. But it's never gonna, unless that price comes down dramatically. Because even I haven't got enough points with Virgin to use my points, and even with Virgin,
just a quick one. I'm just looking at Twitter, and is it Sterling Strange in the mood for a new HHN post, or what's everyone thinks? So he's making a post that what would you choose, guys? Director's Year, Conjurer, The Coven, or Reflections of Fear Redo? The hell is after them? I'm going director. So is everyone else. Sorry, I thought he said there was a new poster out when I was reading it on Twitter, but he's not. I thought he was giving us a little hint that he's getting something, but nah, he's just clearly making one. But at least I gave him a little shout out. Talk about shout outs, go and check out Horror Night Nightmares at HHN Nightmares on Twitter and Instagram. They're the ones who do the spec maps and give us loads of great info.
Yep. And hopefully we've been told we're not expecting a spec map anytime soon. It will, because I think he's probably nailed this first map pretty well. So that's probably why we're not going to get a spec map for a while. But anyway, thank you all for listening, watching, subscribing, whatever you do. I'm going to say my favourite catchphrase.
Before you do, mate, we've got a shout out to give.
We have.
We have. Our mate Craig Lucas and Morlando podcast. He gives us a lot of love.
Oh, thanks for reminding me that, because I've got to put his advert into this episode.
He gives us a lot of love, so we've got to return the favour, mate. Go and subscribe to Morlando podcast.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot about that. Well done.
At least someone knows what they're doing. Anyway, from me, I'm going to say stay spooky. I don't know what Phil's going to do this time.
Look, I'm Epic Phil on YouTube. Be epic.
Good night and sweet screens.
Ooh, the little flash bastard.
The moving walkway exit is approaching. Please watch your step.